Here's something most people are afraid to say out loud. Having few or no friends doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It usually means something is different about you. And that difference, it tends to be something rare, something most people won't recognize until it's right in front of them. Society has turned friendship into a numbers game. More friends equals more success. More connections equals more happiness. But here's the irony. We spend more time managing our online social circles than we do having real conversations. Today, we're going to look at 5 uncommon traits that people with few or no friends often carry. And I promise, by the end, you'll stop seeing these as weaknesses and start seeing them as signs of something much deeper. Chapter 1. Trait 1. The deep processor. The first trait is what I call being a deep processor. You don't just hear words, you study them. You don't just have conversations, you replay them. While everyone else moved on from that group chat hours ago, you're still turning it over in your mind. What did they actually mean by interesting? Was it genuine? Were they brushing you off? Should you have responded differently? Here's the thing, that deep processing is actually a strength. You catch what others miss. You understand nuance. You pick up on behavioral patterns that go completely unnoticed by everyone around you. But it also means social interaction drains you faster. It's like running a high-powered machine while everyone else runs something basic. More processing power requires more recovery time. The answer isn't to shut the processing down, it's to find people who actually value that quality, people who want real depth, not just small talk. Chapter 2. The high standards. Paradox. This next part might catch you off guard. People with few friends often have a finely tuned ability to spot inconsistency. They notice when someone's words and actions don't line up. They pick up on subtle shifts in energy. They can sense almost immediately when someone is being real versus performing. Most people call this being too picky, but what it actually is precision filtering. Think about it this way. If you could see through walls, would you pretend you can't? If you could hear things others couldn't, would you act like you didn't notice? Your standards aren't barriers keeping people out. They're filters making sure only the right ones get through. Chapter 3. Trait 2. Excessive self-reliance. The second trait is a fascinating contradiction. Excessive self-reliance. It sounds like pure strength, but there's a hidden cost. When you've spent years solving your own problems, asking for help feels unnecessary. When you've been your own support system for so long, letting someone else in feels almost foreign. And here's what happens. If you never seem to need anyone, people eventually believe you. That's the paradox. The same independence that made you capable makes you appear unreachable. The strength that carried you through hard times quietly became the thing keeping connection out. But here's the reframe. Self-reliance doesn't have to mean going it alone. It can mean being strong enough to choose connection, not out of need, but out of genuine want. Chapter 4. The rich inner world. This one is genuinely rare. Having an internal world so rich, so layered, so alive, that external relationships sometimes feel secondary. Some people carry an inner landscape so vivid and fulfilling that surface-level conversation feels like a downgrade. Why talk about what's trending when you're wrestling with something that actually matters? This isn't arrogance, it's depth. The problem isn't that you think too highly of yourself. The problem is that you're used to operating at a level most people never reach. And when you've tried to share what's really going on inside you, you learned that most people didn't quite know what to do with it. So you stopped sharing. But here's what I want you to understand. Your inner world isn't a wall. It's an invitation for the right person to step into. Chapter 5. Trait 3. Authenticity requirement. The third trait might be the most misunderstood of all. I call it the authenticity requirement. Simply put, you can't fake it. You can't pretend to enjoy someone's company when you don't. You can't push yourself through hollow conversations. You physically, mentally, emotionally cannot go through social motions that feel completely hollow. Society labels this as being difficult, but refusing to perform, that's actually a sign of real integrity. Most people wear different masks for different settings. Work version, social version, family version. They switch so effortlessly they eventually lose track of who they actually are underneath all of it. You refuse to play that game. And yes, it cost you some connections, but it protected something far more important. Your sense of who you actually are. Want to seriously level up your people skills? Join the community on YouTube or over on my Patreon. Exclusive scripts, early access, and real conversations with people who get the social struggle. Links are below. Chapter 6. The energy economics. Let's talk about something most people won't admit. Friendship has an energy cost, and some of us are simply running on a different kind of battery. For highly sensitive people, for deep thinkers, for those with rich inner worlds, social interaction genuinely costs more fuel. It's not that you don't want connection. It's that connection takes more out of you than it does for most people. Think of it this way. Some people recharge through interaction. They gain energy from being around others. Others recharge through solitude. Neither one is superior. They're just different operating systems. The problem isn't your energy capacity. The problem is trying to run like someone who's wired completely differently. You can't load Mac software onto a Windows machine and act surprised when it crashes. Chapter 7. Trait 4. Past experiences shaped you now. I want to address something directly. A lot of people with few friends carry experiences that taught them connection can be dangerous. Maybe someone you trusted completely let you down. Maybe opening up led to real pain. Maybe you learned early on that being vulnerable wasn't safe. So you built walls. Not to push people away, but to protect yourself. The problem is, walls don't sort between threats and opportunities. They block everything equally. What I want you to hear, your caution makes sense. Your protective instincts were smart. They got you through. But the armor that kept you safe back then might be the very thing weighing you down now. The goal isn't to tear everything down overnight. It's to build gates, things that open and close, not walls that just stay shut. Chapter 8. The quality over quantity. Truth. Here's something that might genuinely shift your perspective. The number of friends you have has almost no real correlation with life satisfaction. What does correlate? The depth of those connections. One genuine, reciprocal, meaningful friendship outweighs 50 surface-level acquaintances every single time. So when you look at your social circle and feel like it's too small, ask yourself, by whose standards? The people with hundreds of connections who still feel empty? Or your own honest measure of what actually fulfills you? You weren't made for shallow waters. You were built for depth. Stop measuring yourself against someone else's pool. Chapter 9. Trait 5. You value different things. The fifth and final trait is maybe the most fundamental. You simply value different things than most people around you. Where others chase social status, you chase meaning. Where others measure worth in numbers, you look for truth through depth. Where others pack their schedules with events, you'd rather fill your mind with ideas. This isn't better, it isn't worse, but it is different. And when you operate from a different set of values, the standard metrics of social success simply don't apply to you. You're not failing at friendship, you're playing an entirely different game. Chapter 10. The path forward. So what do you actually do with all of this? Here's something practical. First, stop apologizing for who you are. These traits aren't flaws to correct, they're features to understand. Second, seek out spaces where your natural way of being is actually valued. You're not going to find deep connection in shallow environments. Stop swimming upstream trying to fit into places that were never designed for people like you. Third, recognize that one genuine connection is worth more than 1,000 followers, likes, or surface-level friendships. Quality isn't just a preference for people like you, it's a requirement. And fourth, give yourself permission to need recovery time. Solitude isn't loneliness. For a lot of people, solitude is exactly where the real work gets done. Let me leave you with this. Having few friends doesn't make you broken. It might just make you rare. The people who will truly see you, they exist. They're just rare too. And rare things take longer to find. Your depth isn't a burden. Your standards aren't too high. Your need for authenticity isn't demanding. These are the markers of someone who refuses to settle for anything less than real. And in a world overrun with surface-level connections and carefully curated personas, that makes you exactly what the world needs more of. So the next time you feel alone in a crowded room, remember this. You're not lacking connection. You're holding out for the right one. And that is absolutely worth the wait. Found something valuable here? Hit like, share it with someone who needs it, subscribe, and stay around for more. Got something on your mind? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it.